In this video, I'm going to give you a complete breakdown and comparison as I test 3 different bug repellents that I bought on Amazon. The first is the Wondercide outdoor sprayer, and then next is the EcoVenger by EcoRaider, and then the plant-based Stem Kills Ants spray bottle. I'm going to show you exactly how and where to use each one. I'm going to test how much coverage you get with each sprayer. I'm going to see if there's any leftover residue after spraying each one, and how much time it takes to dry after spraying, and if they leave any type of lingering smell. So stick around to the end. I'm going to share all my results with you right now. First up is the Wondercide outdoor pest control spray. The first thing you're going to do is hook the hose up to the bottle and then turn on the water. So from here, when it's hooked up, you press this little tab inward and then turn this back towards you and it should open up. So the Wondercide is a little bit different than the other 2 products. It's really only meant to be used outdoors. You really should spray it around the foundation of your home or the edges of your yard. It's really just meant to be that exterior barrier to keep bugs out of the house. Next, we have the EcoVenger. So this is really meant to be a little more versatile than the others. So this could be used both indoor and outdoor. It's really meant to be used around windowsills, baseboards, and then just the entryways to your home, like around a door frame. Also, like the others, it does have this residual effect where when you spray it, it stays effective for a pretty lengthy period of time. So if you hit your doorways, your windowsills, things like that, it'll keep bugs deterred from getting in for quite some time. The third product is the Stem Kills Ants, Roaches, and Flies. Really, this is meant to be more of a targeted applications, but it can be used both indoors and outdoors. It's best used in small locations where you see actual bugs, like the bottom of a sink or a fridge or around a windowsill. All right, now I'm going to do a coverage test. So I'm going to try to spray this bottle about 10 inches away from the cardboard, and then we'll take a measurement and see how wide of a spray area you get to see how much coverage you're going to get out of one bottle. So we ended up with about 8 inches of coverage in each direction. Again, this was the EcoVenger up first. You can see it was a nice even spray. There was like this part in the center that was left dry, but it's really meant for a broader application. The next one is going to be the stem spray. You can tell by this that it had a much tighter spray radius, about 4 inches by 4 inches. So covered a smaller area, but it's much more targeted. You can also see that it ran a little bit because it's an oil-based product rather than water-based. For the next test, I wanted to see if there would be any leftover residue after each one of these dried. So I sprayed it on the vinyl siding of my house, gave it about 15 minutes, and then wiped each one down with a paper towel so everything was even. Next, I went back with a flashlight and tried to look at each area to see if there was any shine. The EcoVenger was pretty dry. The stem had a noticeable sheen to it that's definitely oil-based. And then the Wondercide was a little bit closer to the EcoVenger in terms of not much residue left over. Next, I wanted to test the dry time between the EcoVenger and the stem spray. So what I did is I sprayed each one on the floor and then set up a timer and came back and checked it with a paper towel at 5-minute intervals. You can see that after 5 minutes, the EcoVenger was not quite dry yet, and I came back at both 10 minutes and 15 minutes, and at 15 minutes, I would call it pretty much dry. The same thing is true for both for the stem as well. I came back in 5-minute intervals, and then around 15 minutes or so, it was dry as well. So not much difference in terms of dry time. So the last test I wanted to do was a smell test. So I poured each one out onto a plate and came back over an hour later to see if the smell was lingering. Overall, I was pleasantly surprised with all 3 of these in terms of how fast the smell faded. The Wondercide has a nice vinegar smell. It's strong but still pleasant. The EcoVenger is citrusy, and then the stem is almost fragrance-free. It's just a light lemongrass type of smell to it. All right, so what are the results? So if you want an outdoor yard spray that gives you the most coverage, is going to give you a ton of area and just be the easiest spray and pray, then you want to go with the Wondercide. It's going to give you the most coverage. The dry time doesn't really matter, but it's built exactly for the job that it claims to do. If you want something that's a little bit more versatile, that you can use both indoors and outdoors, or you can use it around entry points or anywhere that a bug might get into your home, you're going to want to try out the EcoVenger. It gives you that tighter spray, but it's good for targeting those entry points where a bug may try to sneak through the tiny little cracks in your home. And if you have an existing bug problem, like say in your kitchen or something like that, and you want a targeted spot reduction, a spot treatment, then check out the Stem Kills Ants. Just know that it's oil based, so it might leave a little bit of a residue, so you may have to come back and clean up after, but doesn't really matter. All three of them should get the job done. So it just really just depends on what you're looking for, what your needs are, and what kind of pests that you actually have.